It's also looked upon pretty favorably if there are some local funds that are going to be complement the funds that you receive from the grant, because that says to the grantor, well, they believe in this initiative within their district. They are willing to put forth some money to support this initiative, but it may not be enough money, and therefore getting the grant funds is an important part. As I indicated earlier, have a lot of clear evidence that you involve multiple stakeholders in the development of the grant, and that there's strong support across a variety of stakeholders. Many grants will allow you to have a few letters of support. My advice on that is, get only 3 or 4 of those, and get them from very significant individuals that are germane to the nature of the grant. If you go out and get way too many of those, all of a sudden it loses its impact. So 3 or 4 of those letters of support from, such as a school board member, or the chairperson of some advisory committee, or the chair of a planning committee that was involved in the development of the grant would be my advice. Again, be real clear about what is the leadership model, who's going to be guiding and directing this initiative within your district, and how much time is being allocated for them to do that. Depending upon the scope of the grant, larger grants, you're probably wanting to look for somebody in the 1/4 time to half time base that would be, they would be out there championing the cause of what the initiative is about. As I said earlier, data. Back up your needs with data, and collect data throughout. The evaluation plan is a very critical thing. Have points of evaluation throughout the grant. For example, if the grant is like a 2 or 3 year grant, many grant providers are going to request that you have an outside evaluator, and be real clear about who that is and what their qualifications are. And you always, in evaluation of grants, you want to, we always look very closely, was this evaluator involved in the development of the grant, and they may have a conflict of interest going on here. So it should be very clear that the evaluator was not part of the development of the grant, nor is an internal person. It needs to come from outside, and who is the evaluator, what background experience, what qualifications, again, what the criteria says that comes with the grant specs when you are considering developing the grant. My advice would be, after you get done writing the grant, take it to some critical friends, somebody that really may not even know a lot about your school environment, or may not know a lot about what you're really trying to accomplish with the grant. And have them read it, and have them then kind of tell you back, what is this grant about? What is it going to accomplish? How will it be evaluated? Who will provide the leadership? So that you get kind of an outside perspective. And if somebody that is not intimately involved with the development of the grant in your school can read it and make sense to it, it probably is in pretty good shape for making sense to the evaluators. Now, granted, the evaluation teams that are put together to evaluate grants when they come into any organization typically have some background experiences in whatever area the grant is being requested. So evaluators are not coming in, blind to the topic, but they will be more critical. And if an outside person, a critical friend of yours, has looked at it and says, yeah, hey, this makes sense. Wow, I can see a need for this. I think this really makes sense, and I can really understand why you'd be wanting to do this. If they can kind of recite back to you the critical points and what you're going to do and why you're doing this, I think that gives some assurance that, hey, you've put this thing together pretty well. Another critical issue in your project design is the professional development that is needed in order for this to be successful. And most grants will ask for professional development plan. Be specific on what that is. You know, what is the topic? When will it be provided? Who will be the audience? You know, what are the objectives that you're trying to accomplish to prepare people to do this successfully as they're working with the students that are receiving the benefit of the grant. So again, I think it gets back to the whole issue about, you know, putting together a good grant proposal is very much like putting together a good instructional plan for instruction that for a curricular area within your school district, or a lesson or a unit of study that you're doing within your classroom. So hopefully these points have offered some suggestions. Again, my expertise is not in writing grants. My expertise is in evaluating them. But from that point of view, I kind of have started in my experience with grants, starting at the end and working backwards, seeing what good grants that have been funded look like, and out of that I've drawn upon some of the things that I've shared with you in this short little video. So best wishes to you as you put together proposals for funding to respond to the needs of your school in the future. Thank you.